Tatsuki Fujimoto is the guy behind the masterpiece of Chainsaw Man, Goodbye Yuri, and if you're a lunatic, Fire Punch, and if you're even more of a pedo, Sisters. So this is going to be the deepest dive into Fire Punch that I have yet seen, because every time I go on YouTube, the only stuff that I see about Fire Punch is people talking about how weird it is, which I agree, but it does not get enough respect for how creative and different it is from other mangas, and yes, it is very entertaining. Doesn't matter how weird it is, I still love the manga. All 80 chapters were really different from each other. Sometimes be like, no, the manga looks like it's going into this direction, Agni, the main character, is going to be, like a really good superhero, and then you flip to the next page and never mind, it's going in this direction, which he actually is just going to kill everyone, and he hates his whole life. Every chapter feels different in a good way, as it's never predictable. Of course, this is going to have way too much spoilers, so if you have not read it, I recommend you read it, then come back. If you don't want to read it, then just watch this video. But Fire Punch is a manga made by Tatsuki Fujimoto, the guy behind the masterpiece Chainsaw Man, Goodbye Yuri, and another one that we're going to get to called Sisters. This guy, he had a weird life, sort of. He puts random things about himself on his Twitter, on his manga, and there's not one manga of his that isn't weird. Chainsaw Man is really known mostly for the anime. I think this was his first manga that got an anime, and his only manga that got an anime, because it's probably the least worst one that's actually okay to have an anime about. And it's gotten really popular, and I don't know why, but every single person that likes Chainsaw Man also likes Breaking Bad. There's just so much evidence of that. And Chainsaw Man is really good, It's about a guy who is a chainsaw. He's a man, and he kills devils, and he's a devil hunter. He has the IQ of a 3-year-old, but he has the mentality of a 2-year-old. So, it's even more different. Got a little variation over here. And his whole goal in life is to cup a feel, if you know what I mean. And, he kind of does it, and a little bit more, a little too much. And the manga does that way more than the anime. But I still think the anime does a great job in showing what Chainsaw Man really is. And now there's going to be, I think, a movie or a second season. Whichever one it is, I can assure you it's going to be really good. Watch it if you haven't. Just make sure your parents are not around. And Fire Punch is his first, not his first, but one of his first manga that he made, I think, before Chainsaw Man. And Fire Punch is about this main character, Agni, and Agni, he kind of has really good regeneration, just like his sister. So if he gets hit, or he can regenerate it really fast. His sister also can do that, but for her it takes way longer. And they live in this village everything is cold because of this ice witch that we don't really know if she's real or not, because no one actually has any evidence or really knows anything about her. She's kind of just a myth around town. And so no one has food. It's always cold. So what do? They cut Agni's arm and just eat it. So cannibalism, basically. Some people don't want to do that, so they just starve to death. And Agni, I think once they did it on his sister, but it took like a year or something for her to grow up back the arm. So they just keep doing it on him because it takes less than a minute. And then out of nowhere, this whole team of people, they're trying to recruit people that have powers, and they go in the city, this town, and they see that there's 2 people with powers. They call it blessed. They think it's God's way of thanking the people. So people that have powers are called the blessed, and this group of people that just came in this town are trying to find the blessed to recruit them. And they find the 2, and then they're questioning, this town has no food here, they have no plants, no animals, how are they eating, how are they surviving? So then they check what's going on in people's food and why people are starving even though they have lots of meat. They find that it's human food. And so one of the people there, called Dharma, he basically becomes the main villain. He burns Agni's village, and Agni burns forever because the fire on Agni only dies once he dies, but the fire is burning him, but his regeneration is also bringing him back, and they're kind of 2 fighting forces that none of them are stronger than each other. So he's always just burning, and he feels the pain. He burns forever. But he kind of just doesn't die. And then the people there, they're this town is crazy. They're weird. They're terrible. They leave the place. They burn everyone else. Luna, which is his sister, which we're gonna get to a little bit. Of course, she wants to have babies with him, and remember that she really, really wants to have babies with her brother Agni. Okay, and while she's burning, she burns for a little bit before she dies because she has low regeneration, and he has fast. So he's just laying there, Luna, and she says one thing: live. And that was the first chapter. You see, guys, this was such a good normal manga. And this was in the weekly Shonen Jump. You know what you could have read? You could have read Fire Punch, One Piece, Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer, or Food Wars. Do you want to read those 4 normal animes about cooking food, about killing demons, about finding the One Piece, the treasure, or, being a Jujutsu sorcerer? Or do you want to read Fire Punch, the manga about a boy who feeds himself to his village for them to live and burns forever, and has a sister that's kind of obsessed with him in a weird way? And that was the first chapter, so let's move on. Tatsuki Fujimoto has lots of mangas, each one being, I'd say they're pretty good, but there's just one weird aspect of him. He has weird obsessions with sisters. He one time got banned on his Twitter for pretending to be, I think it was a 7 or 5-year-old little girl. So he got banned. So instead he made another account pretending to be his sister. And he just did that for a long time. Just pretending to be his sister. For years, I think, or like a lot of months, just pretending to be, and he really dedicated time to it, like just being his sister. Like he had this obsession of trying to be like her. Just why? And then he has, Chainsaw Man, which has a lot of weird stuff going on, mostly with Makima, Denji being a dog, him with that one girl with the eye patch. If you know that scene in the anime, don't even remind me of it. But his mangas and animes, lots of weird sexual stuff. And of course, Fire Punch has something to do with sister. Luna is really obsessed with her brother. And you know what? He has another manga specifically called Sisters. And you know what the main premise of it is? 2 sisters that draw each other naked. So let's move on to the rest of Fire Punch. For the after lots of years, like a lot of years, Agni gets up, he walks around trying to find his Doma, and he makes his main purpose in life is to kill Doma. He's lost all sense of humanity, and now he's just this fine guy on fire that's always naked, because of course it burned his clothes. And he just basically can't die because he's just like really good in regenerating. So he just kind of walks around this cold, snowy ice world trying to find Doma. And he meets this one girl, Togata, and she wants to make a movie. Not in a weird way. She wants to make a movie because she really likes movies, but all of her movie collection got burned. By who? You guessed it. So she makes Agni the main character, and she calls him Fire Punch, like the name of the manga, So she records him with this weird camera that she got from someone. I kind of forgot. Not important. And she kind of just films him doing stuff, and she forces him to like act and look powerful. And they meet this one girl. I think it's a girl. Yeah, it's a girl. She was forced to film the movie for Togata. Togata also has regeneration, really good, and she's really good in like this, karate type of movie fighting. Like she's really good at it. So she forces this one girl, Neneto, to hold the camera and film for her, and she's just gonna basically be the director and tell Agni what to do to be this great superhero Fire Punch. And while it's going great, they meet. They basically plan this escape. Not really, but this whole fight with a bunch of these giants and everything. And before that, the first person Agni met, aka Fire Punch, was a girl or guy, I kind of forgot. It's called Sun. I think it's a girl. She got saved by Agni, and now she kind of worships him, thinking he's amazing or something. and she just kind of follows around. But he's lost all sense of humanity. He couldn't care less. He didn't even mean to save her. But while they're there, Nanero is there, Togata is there, the girl that director and Nanero, she's filming. Agni is also there, and they're like, okay, there's like these really big monster guys. One of them has like a bunch of blades and can see everything. The other one's a big robot. Fight them, and then they fight, and Agni gets absolutely destroyed. But you think Togata cares? No, she just wants to make a good movie. So afterwards, she kind of gets thrown by the big robot dude and burns everything. But he has this like out of touch moment where he's like, I want to save everyone. So he makes himself save everyone there, a bunch of slaves, I think. Oh yeah, a bunch of people with blessings that are kind of being held to warm the people. Like, it's basically like a corrupt system of this one village. Like, this basically like a big state. And I think it's the one that Doma was in. He was trying to get blessed people to join them so they could basically use those for firewood. That's what they would call them. And they would just kind of get them, stretch them out, use their powers to burn wood so everyone else would be chilly, warm, you know? And they would just be suffering there forever. And Sun was there for like a little bit. Everyone there was already there for years, if not millennia, billions of trillions of years, just warming people up. And Sun was there for maybe like a few days until, you know, Agni's like, I want to save everyone. So he saves everyone there, and he saves Sun, and especially he really wants to save Sun. He randomly is like, oh, I really miss her, I want to save her. So he does. And afterwards, the manga kind of takes a break from this whole fighting thing once people are like, yeah, Agni's a really good dude. So he gets like this cult following, and they all think that he's a god. And Togata, she knows that he's not, because, you know, she's been with him this whole time. I keep stuttering, my bad. And so she makes him kind of act like a god for people to like him. And everyone does, and everyone believes it, and they don't stop. But then there's this one guy who's really strong. He's called like the Masked Man or something. He has like this bat, and he's really strong. And I think he can like read people's mind and like their feelings and what they actually think, if they're good or not. And he can read Agni. He's like, oh yeah, you're a good dude. But then he reads Togata, and he's like, yo, Agni, savior, don't listen to her. She's all baloney. Don't interact with her. And then the biggest plot twist happens. Okay, cover your eyes. I want you to hear this. She's actually a man in a girl's body. Like, bro, isn't that just trans? They make it seem like the biggest thing ever. She's trans. Burn it. Like, dog, this is 2025. I mean, I don't support it, but that's kind of just normal saying that now. And I know it's not even like it's the 1800s over here. I think they're like in the billions of trillions of years. Okay, Earth is just like a big piece of ice now with a little warm spot, which is the blessed people giving them firewood. And then they act like this is the biggest like traitor, the biggest backstab ever, and they just get out. But Agni doesn't really care that she's not, it's not like she's actually trans. Like, she didn't choose to be in a girl's body, but she's a man. So basically she just like, no, I never want to see you again. I think that was a Kanye reference. But she kind of just leaves, and Agni misses her, and he can't do anything about it. And the world keeps spinning, you know? After a little bit, he meets Doma again. And he was about to kill Doma, but Doma's fishing. That's not why he didn't kill Doma. I'm just spreading stuff out. But he meets Doma, and Doma's like, please don't kill me. I have a whole family. I have like 10, 13 sons and daughters. I don't think he had a wife, I don't remember. Just like, please don't do this. I'm so sorry for what I've done to you. But now that people think you're a god, shouldn't you be happy that I gave you this power? Just don't kill me. And then Agni gets sad, and he doesn't kill Doma. And then we kind of like flip a page, and he kind of burned everything. I guess he got so like mad and sad, sort of, because he doesn't want to kill Doma, but at the same time he keeps remembering what Doma did to his whole village, and especially his sister, that he's also kind of obsessed about now. And yeah, he kind of just walked and burned Doma and Doma's whole family, everything just gets burned basically. And he's so sad. He's devastated what he's done. He's a monster now. And yeah, that kind of just flips around and doesn't do anything really. And then we meet Sola, something like that. She's actually the ice witch, and like Agni's like, why did you do this? You know, this whole earth sucks. I think he just kind of walked around and met her, or like she randomly appeared, and she's like, oh, I see who you are, Agni. You big fire guy, really strong. Join me, and we can worm the whole earth. Everyone, it's like the end of Evangelion thing where everyone just turns into like a big blob. She wants to do that, but instead of everyone just turning into slime, everyone just turns into this one big tree, like this is Elden Ring. And it's just like, join my plan and we'll be warm forever. Hell no. Because that's basically just killing everyone and just making one human, which I swear they stole that out of Evangelion. That's exactly what happens. It's just that instead of a tree, it's just slime. But he's like, no. And she looks exactly like Luna, but with a tree on her eye, so I guess he doesn't see that. But then when Judah appears, which I think he's met for a little bit, he's like, oh, that's Luna. Like, no, that's not Luna. He really looks like Luna. So after he declines the Ice Witch's plan of warming up the earth with the tree, he just walks and finds this village. And I don't remember what happened. I don't think anything even happened. He just randomly like lost his powers and became not fire. And he cut his arm. And then he just stays there with Judah, which looks like Luna, so he wants to be there. And they just stay in this like little village forever. But you know what happens? They do it. Him and Judah, which he Judah is exactly looking like his sister. So, you know, that's the whole reason why Agni wants to be with Judah, because he looks just like his sister. I think it's a girl, Judah, whatever. And then they do it, and Judah kind of like falls in this whole plan of being Luna, but like with autism, like Casca or something. But he doesn't care. He just stays there with this little village, and they all hate Fire Punch, because Fire Punch burned everything. So they get mad at Ice, and now they get mad at Fire, whatever. So they all hate Fire Punch, and Agni has to pretend, oh yeah, I hate Fire Punch too, and so just Judah. But both of them know that Agni's Fire Punch. But they just live on this like for years, for like lots of years. It's like basically like this brother and sister dating, and they do it a lot and a bunch of stuff, and it's really weird. And then just out of nowhere, just actually out of nowhere, he gets his powers back. Like he gets the fire, he gets his arm back because he cut it off, and the tree thing just randomly happens. The tree thing just whoosh, a tree appeared. Everyone. But then Judah like stops it, and now it turns into like this big tree with like a really long tree that goes into multiverses, universes, galaxies, and it's just expanding and really long. And there's like this random ball in the middle of this tree, and he's just like floating there, and he's like, this is all for Agni, so Agni can live in this world by himself. And he just stays there for millennia, like billions of trillions of quadrillions of sextillions and Google pixels of years. And then just out of nowhere, Agni just appears in the ball with Judah. And they're like, oh yeah, we can live together forever. And that was the end. What? This manga was still a 10 at 9.67. Forgive me. 9.5 out of 10. The ending. I feel like the first like 5 volumes were amazing and they all made sense. And the last 2 volumes just kind of like stranded away. If the series already wasn't weird enough, it just got even weirder. It's like there was 10 plot points and then it randomly turned into 20, but they all correlate to just one big tree at the end. And I mean, yeah, Fire Punch was a really good manga, and way too much stuff about sexualizing sisters. I mean, Tatsuki Fujimoto does that, so if it wasn't for that, who really knows who actually made? Because if you know that Tatsuki Fujimoto made a manga, it has to have something to do with sisters.